Well, we are at the top of the hour, and I want to welcome everyone to the final edition of the IABC Leadership Forum for 2016. We so appreciate you joining us, and we have a lot of very exciting updates for you today, and I want to get straight away to our special guest as well. On the team today, as usual, we have Vice Chair Sharon Hunter, Acting Executive Director Stephanie Doche, and Sherry Boyd, who is our special guest as Vice Chair of the IABC Foundation. So looking forward to the information that Sherry's going to share about the great work that's going on with the committee and all the wonderful things in store for the coming board year. And, you know, with the end of this board year, I thought it'd be a good time to kind of just take a look back at what our strategic priorities are for this board year. And in a nutshell, the board year this year is going to be satisfaction-led. That has been the priority for this board year, focused on achieving financial stability and increasing our membership retention. Now, member retention, I know, is very important to all of our leaders, and I know that you are focused on that and doing all you can from your end. But I wanted to share with you some information about the latest on our retention numbers. Retention has increased 13% over the course of 2016 and is up 21.5% over the end of 2015. So we are making progress. That's the great news. The other news is, of course, we're not there yet. We have a lot more that we can do. And on that note, just highlighting some of the things that have been in place since 2016 launched. We have the implementation of the members-only portion of the website, as you know. We have the publication of 2 ebooks for IABC members. That monthly free webinar that we've started, which is receiving rave reviews. We do appreciate that. There's some onboarding emails for first-time members to help increase their engagement and really prove the value proposition of IABC and keep them on as members after that critical first year of membership. So some of the things that are in place now really focused on increasing retention, serving you as best we can as leaders in terms of the work you do on the front lines. So looking ahead, we're very excited about the possibilities in store with the new AMS system coming online next year. I think you're going to see huge advancements. We're going to rocket forward in terms of the level of service and the opportunities that the new system will provide us. Not to mention the long-term horizon of a private social network that we're looking at as well. So I think there's so many things that are going to be able to happen for you and to support you and to provide greater value once we get this AMS system in place. And Stephanie is leading that, and we are so excited all about that. So I want to not delay and get straight away to Sherry Boyd, Vice Chair of the IABC Foundation, and give the floor to her to give us an update on all the good things going on.
Thank you, Diane. I'm really delighted you've asked me to come today and to say a few words about the things that are in store in the future with the IABC Foundation, something that's had a long life as part of IABC, and we're looking at ways to reinvent it as part of the committee and such. We all agree that communication can be a very important force for good in society and business and in our communities. And we believe that that message is something that resonates with communicators at every level in our careers. For entry-level people, for senior communicators, for those of us who are counting down the years to retirement, and those in semi-retirement. I'm not sure that people who have communications in their DNA ever fully retire, because it's so much a part of our lives, and work through the foundation can give an outlet for that as well. So the basic 4 pillars of the foundation are the gift of communication, the gift of experience, which has to do with the next generation of communicators, the gift of excellence, which has to do with professional qualifications and standards, and the gift of insights, which originally, when the foundation was formed, was a very important part of what the foundation did in terms of research. But as we move forward, we're really looking at that gift of communication as something that we think can engage people a great deal now. And we have plans in store at the Leadership Institute in February in Dallas to announce some new resources that will be available to every chapter to participate. And going beyond that, we've created 3 micro grants that we're going to offer so that chapters can apply and can, between Leadership Institute and when we get to World Conference, can put on the gift of communication in their own community, where they partner with local foundations, partner with local charities, and help them through their resources. And the chapters that have done these kinds of things have found it really helps their profile in the community. It helps to engage students. It helps to engage some communicators who haven't previously been participating, and even attract new members. So it's a very vital thing, besides being near to our hearts, to contribute to our local communities. And these micro grants will involve tracking and measuring just what these 3 chapters that apply do with the gift of communications. And we're putting resources online to help any chapter that wants to do a gift of communication program. And then also, I know that we'll hear more today about what's in the works for talking about the gift of communication during World Conference. And we also will plan as a foundation to take a fresh look at fundraising and see how we can make the funds for the foundation more robust so that we can actually do more going forward. And that's really it in a nutshell. Diane, do you have any questions?
That all sounds very, very, very good, Sherry. I'm so appreciative of everything that the committee is doing to raise the profile and the impact of our IABC Foundation. I wondered, I would love to hear about your eagerness to step up in this role and why you thought it was important to be involved with the foundation.
Well, IABC has touched my life throughout my career. I know that I had ideas more about going into the field of journalism when I was a student, and I first attended a chapter meeting of IABC in Colorado when I was still at university. And I had so much help from IABC members to get internships, to find new avenues, and my career direction was completely broadened into an international perspective as a result of it. I have to admit I wasn't always available, because during the years that I had young children, I wasn't very active in IABC. But coming back to it later on, I'd lived abroad for a while, and then when I moved back to Denver, I got very involved. And I want, at this point in my career, to be able to make a contribution back, because IABC has done so much more for me in helping to shape and helping to make my career successful.
Fantastic. And I love the comment from Kristen. She's excited about the gift of communication coming forward at LI, gift of communication in a box. So I know so many leaders are eager to really jump in and really move our mission forward, communication as a force for good in business and society. And this is a way we really can make an impact as individuals, but also very much as professional communicators and as the representatives of IABC. So I'm thrilled about all of that. Any questions? Obviously, we encourage, if you have any questions for Sherry, just post those on the chat, and we will get a scoop from the person herself. Thank you so much. Unfortunately, I think this squeakiness is coming from me, and I am so embarrassed and apologize for it. So I'm going to keep my comments really short. I don't know what's going on. I think I'm going to go straight over to Sharon, and she's going to talk a lot about Leadership Institute. I think that's a good segue. Sharon?
Okay. Thanks very much, Diane. And thanks again, Sherry, for joining us today. We couldn't be more excited about what's coming up for the foundation in 2017. Of course, LI is a little bit like a launching pad in terms of getting some concrete resources out there to help chapters think about how to do this to create impact at the local level. One of the things that we're doing at LI in terms of the big sessions is, in fact, combining this information from the foundation with a presentation by the Dallas chapter, who has an absolutely fabulous Heroes program. It's a volunteer program that they've created that they're going to come and share best practice about as part of an example of what the gift of communication could look like. And we're really excited about this gift in a box that the Foundation Committee is putting together, because they're going to describe many different types of ways of what that could look like at the local level. And of course, it's great to hear, Sherry, that you're thinking of those micro grants to help chapters get started. So I hope everyone will make time to attend that session when we get there. LI planning is in full swing. There's already some information on the Leader Center for not only signing up to come, but an idea of the different types of sessions you can expect. There's something for everyone there, right from if you're a new leader with the 101 basics, to everything from running your chapter like a business, finance, we've got partnerships and sponsorships lined up. We're going to talk about certification, succession planning, recruiting leaders for your board. We're going to have a big closing keynote on how to have power to lead change, a little more on who will be delivering that as an announcement coming soon. And of course, the big feature of the first morning is going to be our mega strategy session. This is your opportunity to come and join us to help build the future of IABC. This is a 3.5-hour World Cafe that will take us through a bunch of different journeys, one starting with a reflection on the past, from where we've come, some highlights and achievements, a culmination of all the research and insights we've been gathering with our global tour of sessions around the globe, dealing with regional conferences and other chapter events that are taking place. And then, of course, launching into what the vision will be for 2020 and beyond. So this is your opportunity as leaders to join us to really help shape the next 3 years for IABC. I'm very, very excited about that. If you have any questions about the Leader Center, about Leadership Institute, you can, of course, write in. There'll be a lot more announced in January in terms of the actual speakers and the features of that. Other big thing is that we will be hosting the first CMP exam online. We are piloting an online version of the CMP exam at Leadership Institute. It will be taking place on the Thursday morning, the 23rd of February, starting at 9 a.m. So if you would like to take advantage of that opportunity while coming to LI, you need to come in earlier in the day. In order to apply to qualify to take the exam, the deadline is January 23rd. To then register to sit the exam at LI, the deadline is coming up February 9th. So again, please consider that it's an opportunity to be among the first cohort to do the online piece. The reason we are piloting online is we're looking to provide access, make it more available in different places. It will help us to lower some of the insurance costs involved in protecting the integrity of the exam. That is part of our ISO requirement to seek ISO certification for our certification program. So that's the big news from the Global Certification Council tied with LI. And I think that's it in terms of key updates at this time, unless anyone has any questions or you know that I've forgotten something. So
we'll remind you. I'm hoping that I might have been able to fix that nasty noise. I apologize terribly. Speaking of certification, great segue into congratulating our new CMPs. We have 24 new certified communicators under the GCCC program, and we're so very excited about the growth in this program and encourage anyone with questions, any interest. We've just shared a link with you through the chat. Please do look for new information there. And speaking of new information, we have listened to a lot of feedback as we obviously are growing this program, and it is evolving. So we have changed the pricing structure, and I believe all of you received an email from the GCCC chair, Terry Sursoles, about the new fee structure. We wanted to make sure that we were not putting up barriers to entry that were unnecessary, obviously. So I hope that that will encourage you to pursue certification and not let the financial piece be a barrier. I think this is much more palatable, and we're so thrilled that this is now in place. Very exciting, too, is the senior communication level exam that's coming up at World Conference. We'll have more about that, but that will be the first exam created specifically for targeting the senior communicators, or strategic advisor level communicators. So thrilled about that. Certification is really a powerful tool for all of us in terms of our careers, but also our own professional accomplishments, the things that we take pride in and are able to use to help pursue the goals that we have as professionals. So thank you for that. Speaking of leaders, leader survey is obviously in the books, and it's really, really important. We appreciate everyone who did respond to the leader survey this year, and I know Stephanie is going to have more on that in terms of why it's important, how it's used, and really the impact it can make as we look to the long-term goals and improving our service for you, our leaders. And another important reminder, the affiliation agreement, you'll be getting an email from me at the end of the week, but just a little heads up that the December 31st deadline for submitting those affiliation agreements is coming soon. So also known as New Year's Eve. Oh my gosh. Affiliation agreements, that really constant effort by IABC to improve our professional governance and our service to our leaders. So the chapter leaders should look through this affiliation agreement. If you have not yet submitted it, please do so by December 31st. If you have any questions, reach out to your region leaders and they will be able to help you with that. Certainly reach out to Stephanie or Sharon or me, of course, anytime that you have a question. But it's really important that we get those agreements in place by December 31st. It is that service level agreement, again, that increases the professional relationship between chapter leaders and headquarters. So I hope that you all received all of the information that you need and can get those back in by December 31st. Another important memo for you, the IEB call for nominations is open. It is such an amazing opportunity for you to take your love of IABC, your experience, your professionalism, and your passion for IABC to the next level and really make a contribution. Is it hard work? Yes. Does it take a lot of time? It can. But really stepping up and looking at how you can serve and how you can add to the success of our organization, which we're so passionate about. We wouldn't be here today if we weren't just pretty crazy about IABC. So think about that. The International Executive Board, contact any of the board members if you have any questions. Always, I'm always here. Would love to hear from you if you have any questions or just want more information. Feel free to give me a call or an email. And also, in addition to the board service, the international committees will also be opening their call on January 23rd. So take a review of all the committees that we have in place and see where maybe your interest lies and where you can make a contribution. So again, encourage you very much to consider stepping up and applying for the international board as well as international committees. I'm psyched about the great things going on with World Conference, and I know Stephanie has a couple things to say about that as well. So I am going to stop talking and turn it over to our amazing Acting Executive Director, Stephanie Dote.
All right, well, thank you. Thanks for everything. Thanks for being here, everyone. World Conference, we are really, really excited about World Conference coming up June 11th through 14th in Washington, D.C. We have a lot of new things planned for the World Conference this year. You'll have an opportunity to participate participate in some speed networking events. We're looking at a World Cafe where folks can come together and really have in-depth discussions about the challenges and issues and ideas you're facing as professional communicators. So we're really looking at a lot more ways to help people connect and generate big ideas at World Conference. So we're really excited about that. One of the early registration deadlines is coming up, so make sure you register and encourage your chapter members to register by December 31st to save $400 US on your registration. And if you have non-members who are interested in the conference, if they register by that date, they can save up to $800 US by joining and registering for the conference at the same time. So there are some really awesome savings on the immediate horizon for World Conference. So we want to make sure that that's in front of you and you can take advantage of those. Moving on from World Conference, we have some other exciting things happening. You all know that Gold Quill is open right now. The regular deadline for entries is January 11th. We will have a late deadline after that on January 31st, but you can save some entry fees by submitting your entry by January 11th. And we're really excited about the gala coming up during World Conference this year. It's going to be an Oscar-inspired gala with dinner and music and dancing afterwards. So really, really excited about the gala we're looking forward to putting on. And piggybacking on a Gold Quill conversation is the awards technology. So we all know that we've been working through the sunsetting of Awards Century as they'll be closing their organization and looking at new solutions for awards technology to run Gold Quill and all of the Quill programs that want to participate at regional and chapter levels. So previous updates, I've told you we were exploring new solutions. We have at this point narrowed in on one solution that we think will do the job. We are in the final processes of vetting that. We're looking at some of the specs put forward by members of the Council of Regions to ensure that it will meet those requirements that were identified for us. We're also making sure that we understand the pricing model and that it's going to work well for everyone. And we're looking to do a demonstration for interested region and chapter leaders in early January so that you'll have an opportunity to see and ask questions before we advance it. But I do know that a lot of people need this in place relatively early in the year. So we do have a solution on tap, and we're looking to get that in front of you very, very soon. So I thank you for your patience as we work through that and for all the feedback that all of you have given us that has helped us along this exploration of a potential solution. Please let me know if you have any questions on that. We're happy to answer those anytime. Jumping around a little bit, I do want to revisit the leader survey. You've all been really great about giving us feedback, whether it's for the awards software or any other space that you have good information for us that can help us all move forward together. So thank you for that. And thank you for participating in the leader survey. We have that now, and we're analyzing the results to determine, based on the data that came from that and what you told us, what are new or different areas that you may need support from us at HQ, and what can we do based on this information to further develop resources or support for you as chapter leaders in those spaces. So we're currently in the analysis phase and looking to pull some recommendations out of that. So continue to provide updates as we go through that process and bring you up to speed on what we learned and what we think we're going to be able to do to help shore up some areas and support you more in those spaces. Again, if you have any questions, I'm always available. And then finally, we're wrapping up the year, and we want to end the year really strong on the membership front. So as we're rolling into the holiday season, I just wanted to encourage everyone to do, at a chapter level, some local outreach on membership. It's very easy to lose track of this during the holiday season. But on the flip side, a lot of budgets are ending this time of year, so we want to make sure that if folks have membership budgets, they don't lose that because of the distraction of the holidays. So any personal outreach that you can do at a chapter level this month, I think, will be very key in helping us finish the year strong in membership. Really appreciate anything you want to do there. And if you want to share your ideas in the Chapter Leader Base Camp, there have been some really great discussions there. So I want to encourage you to use that also, to share ideas and say, hey, what's working? We just did this. It was awesome. We had great outcomes. And there, as Diane mentioned earlier, there are a number of things you can talk about with renewing members in terms of how we've shored up member value this year with ebooks published, with members-only content, monthly free-to-member webinars. So there are a lot of great things happening that you can talk about with members that you're reaching out to for renewal. So I thank you in advance for helping us finish strong on that front too. I'm very excited about all of the work that we're doing together, and I'm extremely excited about all the work we'll do at LI and all the conversations we're going to have there. So thank you for everything. And at that, I will kick it back to you, Diane.
Great. Thank you for all that great info, Stephanie. Again, a great reminder about making that push before the end of 2016, making sure that members know that we're here and we want to reach out to them as much as possible and support them and encourage them to keep their membership active and to engage them. So letting them know that their participation is important, it is needed, it is valued. So thank you for all of those great updates. And just a couple final notes on World Conference. We are squared away with our 3 keynotes, and we really have our 4th closing keynote squared away too, but it's still under wraps. And so stay tuned for the big announcement. Major closing keynote will be announced in January. Just quickly, I wanted to run down in case you didn't have these folks on your radar. The Sunday opening keynote is Gabrielle Dolan. She's an Australian native and a global thought leader on authentic leadership. So looking forward to that. The Monday morning keynote, John Iwata, who we talked about before you guys got the scoop when we secured him as our Monday morning keynote. He is the Senior Vice President of Marketing and Communications for IBM, and he is going to be really inspiring in terms of some of the thought leadership that he is involved with there as well. On Tuesday morning, Denise Jacobs, she's an author, a speaker, a creativity evangelist. So what's not to love about a creativity evangelist? She's going to get us really thinking in new ways about how we can take our professional skills, talents, strategic vision to a new level. And then again, we'll have our big announcement in January about our closing keynote. Very much encourage you, as Stephanie mentioned, Super Saver deadline is coming up December 31st. You can save some serious dollars or whatever currency you're in. And would love to see if we could get as many people registered before the end of the year for World Conference. Again, those dates, the 11th through the 14th of June next year at the fabulous Washington Hilton. It's a great venue. It's a great city, and we really want to see you there, if at all possible. Obviously, the online registration is live, so make sure to go to wc.iabc.com to register. And with that, it looks like we are almost out of time. I'm going to go quickly over to Sharon with any final thoughts of this final Leadership Forum of 2016. I can't believe the year's almost over.
Oh, thanks, Diane. Well, just one thing I want to share, and that is one of the favorite parts of Leadership Institute for me is the CMA Awards. It's when we all get together and we celebrate all the great things that everyone is doing around the world at whatever level they serve. And as communicators, you know that we love nothing more than a deadline to get us inspired. And so, in fact, the deadline is today.
Oh, good.
CMA submissions in. I know a lot of people, I've been talking to a lot of people in the last month. We're all the same. We write those furiously at the last minute and scramble to get them in, but it's always worth it, and a wonderful celebration at LI of all the great work we're doing and recognizing all the time and effort that we put in as leaders for IABC and for ourselves. So I just wanted to remind, I believe it's midnight Pacific time tonight. So that gives those of you still in the East a few more hours to bang out those submissions, and a little more time for those of you in other time zones. So please do, and I'll look forward to seeing you at LI.
Exactly. Celebrating the best of the best.
Thank you.
All right. And all you do. Thank you, Sharon. Stephanie, any final thoughts?
No final thoughts. Generally, just as we approach the end of a year, it's a time for reflection and thankfulness. And I just want to reiterate how much I appreciate all of the work that you all do. And I reflect on that frequently. So thank you.
Well said. Absolutely spot on in terms of, I think, the feeling we all share about how much we appreciate the dedication that you all show. I mean, there's blood, sweat, and tears involved sometimes, but it's so worth it because we see the value that we can bring as professional communicators, again, to business and society. So thank you. And with that, have a wonderful rest of 2016, and here's to an amazing 2017. Thanks so much.